I almost lost everything because of booze. Nobody knows that I have dependency, not even my husband. I'm female 23, and somehow I became a pro at keeping secrets until now. By the way, this comes from user Vodka Junkie. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OkStoryTime subreddit. It started with a glass of wine after long work days. This was never a big deal in my family. My parents are wine snobs. One glass turned into two or three, which turned into a bottle at night. And then I realized it was great for anxiety and socializing too. So I started taking shots before events, even the ones that didn't make me anxious. Eventually, I just started taking shots in the morning on empty stomachs to get through the day, not eating all day, then coming home to a bottle of wine. I even started adding to my waters to drink at work. I've been drinking from dawn till dusk for about 3 months now. Wine and any kind of hard liquor you can think of. My eye opener was nearly losing my job 2 days ago. I was really early to work. I wasn't paying attention to the clock. I had a bit of time to burn, so I went to the supermarket down the road and picked up a small, mid-sized bottle of flavored vodka, poured it into a travel coffee mug, and got started. I was out late the night before with a relative who recently ended her marriage. I told myself it was just hair of the dog. Work was enjoyable, and I helped many customers. My coworkers let me take first lunch. That was a mistake. I grabbed my mug, I went to my car, and then I started hitting it hard just cuz. I even refilled my mug, and this is straight we're talking. Lunch was up, and I clocked back in. I was really feeling it, but I didn't feel that I was acting any differently. In fact, I felt more productive. About an hour after I had returned from lunch, I was called into the office. The floor supervisor said there was a customer complaint and that I was being sent home for the remainder of my shift. I had had enough that the booze wasn't even my first assumption. I spent the drive home crying and wondering what I did. And in hindsight, that is how effed up I was. It was the weekend, so my husband was home when I returned. I just collapsed into the stairs, crying hysterically, and told him how I was sent home and they wouldn't tell me why. He comforted me the best he could, although he was concerned. He said it wasn't that great of a job anyway, and I could always find another one if they let me go. I was grateful for his comfort, but secretly started to wonder if it could be my drinking. I had to pull myself together quickly, though, as I had my other job to get to, photography. I had a family shoot in the park. I put my makeup back on, got changed, and headed out. The mug was still in my car, and this time I said, I need it because I'm scared and had a bad day. I kept drinking. We exchanged hellos and get started shooting as soon as they pulled up. I barely even remember the shoot. I was lucky that my camera settings were on point because I never even bothered to change them for the duration of the session. The booze worked in my favor for one thing only, the kids. They were giving me high fives and full of energy, and I was able to run with it. What was going to be a half-hour shoot turned into an hour and a half. I didn't notice, and they were going with it. I thanked them for the shoot, they paid me, and we left. The drive home, I was scared. I saw that I had managed to take great pictures, but I was having difficulty driving. My head was spinning. I called my husband since I missed a call from him, and he said that he wanted to go for a drive by the apartments we were moving to in a few weeks. I made it to the house and got in his car. A few minutes in, I blacked/passed out. I was so tired from the drinking and crying. He knew I'd had a long day, so it wasn't strange to him that I fell asleep in the car. I vaguely remember driving by the complex. On the way back, I was feeling sick. I don't remember saying anything. I just remember him asking if I was going to puke, and I shook my head yes. He pulled over, and I hurled relentlessly. Straight acid. He asked me if I had eaten, and I said no. We went home, and he bought me dinner, and I devoured it, and passed out again. He assumed it was stress and fatigue. The next day was my reckoning. At this point, I knew what I was going to be in trouble for, but I hoped it wasn't. But sure enough, the floor supervisor had smelled the booze on my breath after lunch and called the manager. It wasn't a customer complaint at all. I lied and said that I hadn't been drinking on the job, but he must have smelled it from the night before. She accepted that, saying that he had mentioned that, and I got a write-up for policy's sake and given that I'm an excellent employee. I almost lost my job, though, and I'm pretty sure my coworkers didn't buy the story, though it was a half-truth. Now I'm the elephant in the room when I go to work. As for my husband, I gave him the same story. I said it was hair of the dog. He was really disappointed that I would risk it all, and he was concerned for my health, but he encouraged me to move forward from this and learn. Without him, I know I would never have the strength to quit. He's too important. I just can't believe I let it get this out of hand. Getting wasted at work and risking relations with my own clients and my own husband. I need help. I'm lucky they didn't just fire me on the spot or call the police, but I am determined to quit. Today will be day one. It has to be. And there are some comments here. Comment one of the many delusions we alcoholics live under is the idea that nobody knows. They know. They have noses and know vodka is not odorless. I suspect you know that this is just beginning. If you want to halt the inevitable downward spiral, now is the time to act. You're going to have to do more than make a Reddit post, though. Seek help, whether it's through a local AA meeting or a professional. The longer you put it off, the harder it will be. Good luck. The second comment says, because of my drinking, I almost lost custody of my children and a professional career. Desperation made me willing to do whatever it took to get well. I highly doubt that your husband and people who love you don't think something is amiss. I thought I was hiding my drinking because it was vodka. I went to a school conference with a teacher and was told they could smell booze on me. I started by getting a addiction specialist for a counselor. She got me started on the road to recovery. Detox, rehab, and outpatient treatment led me to AA. These resources gave me the sober, happy life I have today, and I wish the same for you. Third comment says, the good news is that you've lived through this horrible experience and turned it into a lesson. You've had a terrible day and got something good out of it. This is your wake-up call, and you sound ready to wake up. Good luck, and enjoy reclaiming your life. And we do have a final update here. Thank you so much, everyone, for the words of encouragement and much-needed words of advice. I will be seeing a counselor soon who specializes in substance use disorder. I also spoke to the supervisor who called me out. We had a really amazing talk, and I confessed everything and apologized for putting him in that position. He said that he would be a friend and trustworthy ear if I ever need it. Again, thank you all. I'm officially 24 hours clean and rooting for much more.
Very nice.
And that is the end of